go.
I call this February 3rd, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting to order. Please silence your cell phones and devices. Commissioner Charbonneau, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Deputy Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for tonight's meeting. Wilder,
Here.
Charbonneau,
Here.
Burhay,
Here.
Hornseth,
Present.
and Pemberton.
Here.
And Hubbard and Chair Sullivan are excused. You have a quorum.
Okay. Next, we have public comments on any subject except those scheduled for a public hearing. Those who have signed in will be given the first opportunity to speak. Time is limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 36 minutes total for this agenda item. Please sit at the table, speak clearly into the microphone, and state your name and whether you live inside or outside city limits. Deputy City Clerk, is there anyone signed in to speak?
There is no one signed in to speak.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak? Looks like no. Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda and consent agenda. Approval of the consent agenda passes all routine items listed under the consent agenda marked by an asterisk. I'll need a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay. Deputy City Clerk, can you please vote on the agenda?
Voting on the approval of the agenda and consent agenda. Sorry. Charbonneau,
Yes.
Wilder,
Yes.
Pemberton,
Yes.
Burhay,
Yes.
Hornseth.
Yes.
That agenda and consent agenda have been approved, and on the agenda and consent agenda is the approval of the January 6, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission's meeting minutes.
Thank you. Next up is special orders, presentations, and reports, which we have none, so we'll move on to the city administration report.
Thank you, commissioners. Just a reminder for the public that Jamie in our office has been working on an excellent newsletter to go along with these meetings to kind of help understand the rundown of what will be going on. We've also started including some interactive questions for the public that might help us with prioritizing the priorities and what order we want to tackle those during our work session. So please check those out. February is Commissioner Recruitment Month, and so Commissioner terms end at the end of February. So for our 2 commissioners who have expiring terms and anyone in the public who would be interested in applying to be on the commission moving forward, applications are available on the city's website. And in order to get them in the city council packet at the meeting that council will appoint members, February 17th is the deadline to get those to the clerk's office. So make sure to get those in. Just one quick update on the comprehensive plan, since I don't think we've given an update on that. Again, last winter was our public engagement winter with the surveys and the town halls, and in the summer we were analyzing the data, and then we had the presentation in the fall that we gave at I think the October work session. We spent the fall meeting with all the city departments, and we spent the end of the fall and now going into the early spring meeting with just many different community organizations as we can. So we've had a lot of great meetings going on, and then at some point this spring, hopefully we'll finish those and can start tackling with the drafting stage, which would be the next big lift of that project. So I just want to keep you all up in the loop on that. And then outside that, I'll be out of the office next week, so Courtney will be acting director next week. If you need anything, just reach out to her. Thank you.
All right, there are no other reports or presentations, so we'll move on to the public hearings. The first and only public hearing item is Resolution 2026-002. Deputy City Clerk, would you please read the title into the record?
Resolution 2026-002 of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Seward, Alaska, recommending City Council amend Seward City Code 15.10.140 definitions and 15.10.226 land use is allowed to incorporate regulations for a mobile health unit.
I'll need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-002.
Second it.
Administration, do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Hornseth. So this is the topic that we discussed in our last work session, so it should be still very familiar. But the Seward Community Health Center has the desire to use a motorized van that would provide routine, non-emergency health screenings and preventive care. And typically, well, this use doesn't fall under a definition currently in our code for a mobile medical unit, which is for something that provides more complex medical diagnostic equipment and services. And so typically when a use is not listed within our land uses allowed table, we would recommend that the individual get a conditional use permit. But where this is going to be a mobile use and is intended to operate out of various locations, we felt it was more appropriate to add this use to our definitions and land uses allowed table so that we could specify which zoning districts it would be appropriate in. And so you'll see in the ordinance that is attached to this resolution, which will be what the commission is recommending to City Council for approval, that the effect of the proposed legislation would be to define what a mobile health unit is, and then add land use regulations for both mobile medical units, which is currently in our code, and then adding the land use regulations for mobile health units. And then finally, allow mobile health units to operate outright in office residential, auto commercial, harbor commercial, central business, industrial, and institutional zoning districts.
Thank you. I'll open up the public hearing. Deputy Clerk, is there anyone signed to speak?
Yes, we have one on the list, and that is Jillian Chapman.
Thank you. Jillian Chapman. I am not only a Seward resident, I'm the CEO at Seward Community Health Center. So I appreciate the opportunity to come talk with you at the work session a couple weeks ago, and that you're considering this change tonight. We've had the mobile health unit in operation for a season already, and we realized in doing so that we need to make some changes here and want to make sure that we are meeting the community needs for healthcare in a way that is respectful to all of our neighbors and wherever we plan to use this thing. So I just want to recognize my appreciation for how this is worded, so it's not simply catering to our needs, but to the future needs of the community, hopefully by alluding to the provision of mobile health care by any healthcare provider, not just primary care. It could be in the future, mobile dentistry or any number of other things in the healthcare realm, which I think is, fantastic that this opens the door to that level of service as we grow and change. So, thank you.
Thank you. I assume there's no one else around to speak. Last chance, anybody in the hallway? All right, I will close the public hearing. Are there any comments from the commission?
Yeah, so I think we looked at this before. It all makes a lot of sense. It's what the town needs. But I did talk to administration just before and changing the fifth whereas where it says hospital. I believe we're going to change to healthcare provider. And the term's just a little more standard, a little more refined, and while it still encompasses hospital, so it's not really affecting anything. I think it just makes it a little more concise.
And are you saying, is that going to be an amendment?
No, they're just going to take care of it.
They're going to do that as
Bring it to
an
everybody's
administrative item.
attention.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I think we had a good discussion at the work session. It meets a need of the community, and I'm happy to see that through. So with that, I'd say Deputy Clerk, please call for the vote.
Okay, voting on Resolution 2026-002. Pemberton?
Yes.
Hornseth?
Yes.
Wilder?
Yes.
Charbonneau?
Yes.
And Burdick.
Yes.
That resolution has been approved.
Next up is unfinished business, which we have none, so we move on to new business. We have no resolutions under new business, but under other new business, we have to discuss the work session topic for February 17th, 2026. Administration, do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Hornseth. I think for our training, there are a couple presentations that I was able to watch or be part of, webinars from the Kenai Peninsula Economic Development District, which I think does a lot of work that pertains to planning and zoning commissions, and so I'm not sure how familiar the entire commission or even the public is with that organization, so I think we just want to do a quick overview of that group for you all and where you can find some of those resources and utilize them in your work or the public in case you're just kind of curious about information about not only Seward but the entire Kenai Peninsula. So I'll be kind of the first part of the training, and then our plan is to tackle subdivision code a little more. It's been a minute since we last talked about it, and at the end of last year, one of the city attorneys flagged a few things that could be improved, and so he's working on some feedback, which we haven't seen just yet, so I don't have specifics yet, but hopefully it'll be kind of a one-and-done work session on that topic, and go from there, but just kind of cleaning up some of the language in our subdivision code.
Thank you. Let's see, next up on our agenda is informational items and reports. First, there is a reminder of our upcoming P&Z meetings, which are a work session on Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers at City Hall, and then a regular meeting on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. in City Council chambers at City Hall. For other items, we have the KPP planning report for the commission and public to review. Administration, do you have any comments on that?
No additional comments, just I don't think any dates, maybe a couple have been updated since the last agenda, but yeah, as plats get approved at the borough, then update the spreadsheet, and so there's still a few pending ones. Some of the larger ones that require more extensive review are still pending, but they're making progress.
Cool. Any commissioners have comments on it? Okay. That brings us to final public comment. There's no sign-in for this comment period. If you wish to speak, please come to the table, state your name, and whether you live inside or outside city limits. Time is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Anybody in the public? Okay. Administration, final comments?
Yeah, great meeting today. Also, and I should have said it last week, but I just want to say nice work on all of the marijuana legislation that this body has worked on up until that joint work session last week. That topic came up immediately after I began in my position, and so like looking back, I think there was just you don't know what you don't know, and some of the Title 8 versus Title 15 things probably could have been delineated earlier on, and so I'll take ownership over that, and because I know a lot of you have been receiving comments from the public about where this is going, but I'm glad we got some clarity about what council will be tackling, and I don't think our work is done yet, but it sounds like there are a few steps that will happen before the Title 15 portion gets kicked back to you, and you should have all some clarity about what the business regulations look like to help make your decisions easier. So thank you for your work on that, and yeah, great meeting.
Yes, so any comments from the commissioners themselves?
Be quick.
Yeah, I just want to also reiterate kind of thank you as well, administration, for I think like teaching us the difference between Title 8 and Title 15 and separating that out. I'm always learning on this job, so it actually takes a lot of our plate too, which is kind of nice. So yes, thank you for your hard work on that as well. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting at 7:14.